In the UK, we often hear people saying there's no incentive to work. We have a welfare state that was created to look after the needy and the vulnerable, but that system is widely exploited by the lazy and the feckless, at least according to the Daily Mail. Whether or not that's true is open to debate. What is clear, however, is that we as a nation have knowingly and deliberately disincentivized work. Even the most honest and hardworking are expected to jump through hoops, circumvent countless barriers and obstacles, and even pay for the privilege of earning a crust. And here in the demolition and construction sector, that scenario plays out on a daily basis. In fact, it begins even before we can start work. First, you've got to get to the job. Public transport isn't cheap. Bus and train fares in the UK are among the highest in Europe. Drive instead, and you're stung by fuel duty, road tax, insurance premiums that seem to rise with every renewal. Then add in toll roads, congestion charges, and parking fees, and you've already spent a chunk of your week's pay before you've actually earned any money. And you've still got to keep the motor running, MOTs, tyres, servicing, maybe breakdown cover, all the little things to keep you legal and mobile. And God forbid your van gets nicked or broken into overnight, because replacing stolen tools and equipment will set you back thousands. Once you finally get there, the real fun begins. You've got to prove you're qualified to do the job you've been doing for years. That means cards and tickets, CSCS, CPCS, CCDO, an alphabet soup of plastic proof that must be earned, renewed, and refreshed. You might have spent decades in the trade, but if your car's out of date, you're not getting past the gate. And all of that costs. Some firms will pay, but plenty won't. You're expected to invest in yourself as if that's some sort of motivational slogan, even though all you're really doing is paying to stay employable. The same goes for health checks, drug and alcohol tests, and the endless site specific inductions. You might not have to pay for them, but they often mean unpaid hours. Then there's PPE. The law now says employers should provide it, even for agency workers, but that's not always how it works out. Boots, gloves, high vis, safety specs. If you want gear that fits properly and actually protects you, you'll often end up buying your own. Decent boots alone can set you back 100 quid or more. And God forbid you wear orange high vis on a site that requires yellow, because apparently in some places you're completely invisible in day glow orange with reflective strips. Then there's a daily grind, the cost of simply getting through the day. Lunch might not sound like a big expense, but when you're on the road or on a remote site, it's often not easy to bring your own. A sandwich, crisps, a drink, bar of chocolate maybe, will easily set you back a tenner. Do that 5 days a week, and you're looking at more than 2 grand a year just to keep you going. Coffee, snacks, bottled water, all relatively small costs, but they quietly pile up. What's the alternative? Site canteens these days are few and far between, and you can't exactly pop home for a cuppa when you're an hour's drive away. In 2025, a mobile phone isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. You need it for calls, text updates, timesheets, maps, job apps, digital inductions. Miss a call, miss a shift. Data plans aren't free, and neither is the phone itself, so you pay, because if you don't, you may slip off the employment radar. When payday finally rolls around, you might think the pain has stopped, but for many, that's when it really begins. Tax deductions, national insurance, pension contributions, umbrella company fees, each one sucking at your pay packet like a ravenous vampire. And if you're paid late, which happens far too often, the domino effect kicks in. Overdraft fees, misdirect debits. Try explaining to your landlord or your bank that your wages should have been in by now. They don't care. The system doesn't wait. But the disincentive isn't just financial, there's the physical toll. Demolition and construction are punishing trades. Bad backs, worn knees, hearing loss, respiratory issues, all part of the deal. But there's no sick pay for most self employed or agency workers. No one's paying you to rest. If you're not working, you're not earning. You work like a dog your entire life, often beyond the point when your body has had enough. And what are you left with? A pension that's worth sod all, and a savings pot that has been used to prop up the industry's late and non payers for the past 20 years. From the time we're children, we're told, work hard, follow the rules, and you'll be rewarded. But that's not how it feels on the ground. Out here, it's less an incentive and more a tax on trying. Every qualification, every mile to site chips away at what little reward there is. Before a man or woman in this game even turns up, they've already paid out for the privilege of working. They've already spent money, time, and energy just to earn the right to earn. We're told that there are people in the UK exploiting the system, but compared to how the system exploits those working in demolition and construction, welfare scroungers are bloody amateurs.